This boy's name is Yusuke. He's 14 years old and is supposed to be the hero of this story. But oddly enough, he's dead.
I've turned into a ghost?
Bingo!
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
And today we're covering the first season of the anime Yu Yu Hakusho.
Now we got into this series after the announcement of premiere Netflix's live action adaptation. But we had been recommended this anime so much, not only by Sylveon14, but many others on Twix, that we finally just had to do it.
Right.
Well, the bad part is the live action adaptation sucked, so we went to watch the original and clearly superior anime.
Alright. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click notifications with some future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. Subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, and so much more. You are so special. We love you and thank you for everything.
Yes.
So yes, this is one of the most popular anime and manga that's out there.
Yes, for sure.
And so many people kept saying, you're missing out if you don't watch it. You're missing out if you don't watch it. And recommending it and commenting how awesome it is. It's one of Sylveon's favorites.
Yes.
And so now we finally get to cover it. And hopefully she'll be very happy.
Yes.
And tell us things about it that we need to know. That
Yes.
we do not know.
Right, because we're still new.
Yes, for those of you not familiar with Yu Yu Hakusho, it's a manga series written and illustrated by Yoshihiro Togashi, and it tells the story of Yusuke Arameshi, a teenage delinquent
There we
who
go.
was struck and killed by a car while saving a child's life. We'll get into more of that later.
Oh my god.
It's adventure, martial arts, and supernatural. And the manga ran from December of 1990 to July of 94 with 19 volumes.
Right. So, when we watched this, one we didn't know was actually an older anime or considered a classic one until we saw more pictures and hype for the anime after it was live action. Right. So, we also did not know that it was also partially horror inspired. Apparently, inspired by a lot of the horror movies and cult legends and things that the author had read or watched growing up, and that's how he made Yu Yu Hakusho. And I think what stands out about this, yes, it's a little similar to Bleach and it might have inspired it, but it still was something unlike anything else at the time it was out. Still unlike anything else they've got out now. And they still managed to make it fun to watch. Even when there's battles happening and they gotta capture ghosts or capture spirits or defeat evil or something, they always make sure it's fun to watch. So much so that when they have your preview for next week's episode, they play some game show music and act like they're on a talk show. Like, oh, next week we're gonna do this! And it's like, you just almost died!
And now we see where AOT got its humor from in this manga when I was reading it.
Yes.
So the anime series itself was directed by Noriyuki Abe and written by Yukiyoshi Ohashi. It ran 112 episodes over 4 years from October of 92 to December of 94. And let me tell you, it has definitely cemented its place. The animation, as you mentioned, is definitely for that particular time period. But it's still very fluid.
Yes.
And this anime is so much fun to miss. The seriousness of him getting killed and earning his way back into the living.
Make sure you know that.
There is so much freaking humor. Now, the humor doesn't start the first episode.
No.
Because I ended up crying the first freaking episode. And then we rewatched the episode, I cried again.
Uh-oh, no.
So you don't get that fun that first episode. It's very serious. And I think that's the tone the live action was trying to duplicate, but it didn't do it well because it jumped ahead to an arc that doesn't happen until way down the line with a character that's not even appearing in the first episode. And it didn't do it well because it was too serious,
and too depressing.
Yes.
And what's even worse is that the main character, I know it's not Hakusho, but I know we keep thinking that because of the title.
Right.
What is the main character's name again? Yosuke?
Yes.
Yosuke. Okay, I got
the main character.
Yes, the main character. Well, I'll make sure. Yosuke in live action is like, literally didn't give a crap about anything. He was kind of okay with just staying dead, and it was like kind of depressing to see. He didn't care he was gone. He wasn't phased that he got run over by a truck.
And he's 14.
Right. 14. Didn't care he was run over by a truck. Didn't care he was out of his own body. He didn't care. He said, well, he had nothing to live for, so he's fine going. It was like, what the heck is this? And you see the anime, he's like terrified this happened. He's trying to get back. He thinks no one cares. And you see all these people really dig it. He has some that were still jerks and saying crap after he was gone, like he deserved it and it was messed up.
Right.
You saw there were a lot of people that care about him. Even the one that they thought was a bully and just wanted to fight him all the time was upset he was gone.
Yes, and that made me cry too.
Right.
And the mom, she was just beside herself,
Yes.
just depressed. And he found out, yeah, he was wrong. All these people really did care about him. But then you also learn there's a different side to him, because in the first episode, yeah, he's a delinquent. He's worse than the ones in Tokyo Revengers and Windbreaker.
Right.
Because he acts as if he has no values, no morals, and all he wants to do is fight.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about school. He doesn't care about anything.
Right.
So he's worse than in these other anime, this Yankee anime.
Right.
He was a real bad boy. And of course, there's always a girl that's in love with the bad boy. And he had that as well. But after the first episode, you do get a lot of humor and a lot of events that help you to understand in flashbacks how he became this way and how other characters came to look at him the way they looked at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see, while he's trying to earn his way back into the living, that there are a couple people that kind of are aware of his presence
Mm-hmm.
and really miss him, and he's seeing that they miss him.
Right.
And then after he is taken out, he meets up with Bochan, who's got issues. I think she's got blue hair, and
It's
she reminds you
Bulma.
of Bulma, definitely. And she's got issues.
Yes, and she has her broom like it's Kiki's delivery
Yes.
service. And I'm your guide and so and so. And then it was even funnier when she tells him, he said, well, at least I know he made a good sacrifice so his kid could live. She said, actually, that kid was gonna be fine. You kind of jumped there for nothing. He would have gotten hit, but he would have recovered. And
That
he's like,
was horrible.
and it's like, I jumped in front of a truck for nothing.
I think that lent the humor it needed. And then within the anime season itself, you find out that Yosuke had a more calmer life when he was alive than after he got taken out. Because every time you turn around, there's some crap happening now. Over and over and over. One event is taken care of and then there's another.
Yes.
One thing is avoided a tragedy and another one happens. It's like he's constantly under fire.
Yeah.
And then there's an arc where he ends up in the spirit world with who has become his best friend.
Yes.
The bully who misses him so badly because he's not able to fight him.
Right. And
I think his name is... No, it's
But-
not Rando. Kazumaru?
I
No,
think,
no.
or is that
He's one of the ninjas.
okay?
Let me think. Kurama. And he ends up with him in the spirit world, and they're undertaking all of these battles and challenges, and they're dudes together.
Yes.
And it's so nice to see them, that they're supporting each other and friends. Now they're not, bro-like. They're still, at odds on different things, but you know that they will be there for each other. They're standing up and have each other's backs.
Right.
But there's so much crap in his life after his afterlife
Yeah.
that his life was calmer. And then he gets back to the living, and
Yeah.
it's still chaotic.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you had it so easy before you got taken out. You just didn't know. Now
Right.
it's crap.
And what's funny is as soon as he's done, like he'll finish an arc or something within season 1, and he goes home. The very next episode, he's being called back for something, and he's like, "I just got home. Can I have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, you're needed somewhere else. No."
So when this originally came out, it was well received. The manga has over 50 million copies in circulation worldwide. It's one of the best-selling manga as a result of that. It also won a 39 Shogakukan Manga Award in 1993, and the animated series won the Anime Grand Prix prize for Best Anime in 94 and 95. And it's still watched by people like us who've never seen it, know nothing about it, but hear how it's just one of the greatest anime of all time to watch. And I have to say, even after just watching one season, I can see why it's earned this title.
Right.
It's absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to watching more and more and more. And I forgot to mention that he's appointed the title of Underworld Detective.
Oh, that's why they kept having the title. Oh my god, that's not a detective. He goes and fights the people.
So the author actually began creating this series in 1990, basing it on his interest in the occult and horror films, as you mentioned, and an influence of Buddhist mythology. So let's talk about the characters, because
and I guess the voices too, yeah.
They are crazy, yes, and the voice actors. Want to get to that quickly before we stop. So,
oh man, there's a probably a big list. Because we're only getting season 1. We know there's more characters coming in next season.
Mention the ones we know for sure. So the main character is Yosuke Urameshi. He's voiced by Jonathan Fahn in the first film, and Justin Cook in the TV series.
Oh, we know him
as well. And yes, we were so shocked to learn this was Justin Cook.
Right.
He has done so much, not only in voice acting, but as an ADR, and now he's moved up to doing other things. So he's been in this business so long, and he was perfect for this role. When you hear him, it's like you forget, okay, he voiced Kirishima, but once you hear him in this role, you forget all about it. Because it's a whole different vibe, whole different take. He has range, and he's just fantastic as Yosuke. Then you have Kazuma, I said Karuma, forgive me. Kazuma Kuwabara, and he's voiced by Christopher Sabat.
Yes.
So they are, again, we got MHA rejoinings, and more MHA beginnings in here, I should say. And he is the classmate who he always fought with all the time, and he's also known as the second toughest delinquent, but he wants to be the first.
Second, oh my god.
He loves kittens.
Of course he does.
And he has a nice heart. And that's how I describe him, because if someone's being attacked, especially if it's a woman or a girl, he rushes in to do something about it. And they make fun of him for it, but he's got a nice heart.
And he keeps his word on everything.
Yes. And he's a really huge guy. I mean, he's big. And then you have Kurama, who's a fox demon and the former thief who specializes in undoing seals. He's voiced by John Bergmeyer in the TV series in the first film. So apparently there are some voice acting changes later on.
Yeah.
So we're only going to mention the ones we know here. There's Hai, and I hope that's correct.
I think so, or Hai, or the Hai? I think it's just one.
Hiei. And he's one of the 3 wanted demons alongside Kurama and Goki, who stole the treasures from the underworld, and we encounter them when they're there doing the challenges.
Right.
He's voiced by Chuck Huber, another MHA alum.
And I think he's Sylvian's favorite. Hey, I think I saw a few posts on that one.
And then you have Keiko Yukimura, and she's Yosuke's childhood friend and classmate, and eventually we know they're gonna ship.
Right.
You can see it coming.
And they make fun of him, yeah.
And she misses him, and then she can sense him after he's gone. She's ecstatic when he returns, and she's voiced by Laura Bailey. Again, you've got all these people from MHA.
Right.
You've got Botan, who's a guide to the underworld, charged with ferrying the souls of the deceased. And Botan's voiced by Cynthia Krantz. And she tries to help him when he's doing the challenges in the underworld, giving him tips and clues on how to beat certain people and what is expected of him.
Right.
And that reminds me of the character from Dragon Ball.
Oh, there's so many. Can you really narrow it down?
Yeah, the main lord that he gets a friendship with.
Oh, yeah.
K.
Kami-sama, that's it.
That's who this character reminds me of, and definitely was inspired by that one. There are so many other characters that we're not going to keep going, but I will let you know more voice actors who appear in here, and you'll see it's just an MHA fest in the making.
Right.
You have Linda Young. You have Sean Michael Teague, Eric Vale, Mike McFarlane, Bryce Armstrong, Kyle Hebert, Chris Rogan.
Quite
Lester
a few.
Cook also voices a second character. Jerry Jewell, Kimberly Grant, Sean Schimmel.
Man, like you said, it's almost an all MHA cast before MHA.
Christopher Sabat also voices another character. And so does Jerry Jewell. You've got so many characters in here that we'll just address them as we come into them season by season. But we're so grateful that people kept saying to watch it. We're so grateful Sylvia really wanted us to watch it because we love it. It took us a while to get through season 1. And now that we're covering season 1, we can jump into season 2 and enjoy it even more and see what other adventures there are for the characters. So if you've watched Yu Yu Hakusho, let us know in the comments. Did you love it? Is it something that is on your top 10 list? Or is it something you think is just okay? Let us know. If you have watched it, who are your favorite characters or character? Your favorite seasons? Do we have something to look forward to with the movie? And so much more you want to tell us in the comments. If you haven't seen it, we're watching it on Netflix, but it's on Crunchyroll, Netflix. I think Hulu is everywhere.
Yeah.
Give it a watch, come back, and you're welcome.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and movie reviews for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. And every time you decide to join us on a podcast, sharing our videos, subscribing, and so much more. As always,
You are specials. Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
and a Mama Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace, and thanks so much, Sylvia.